Hey there everybody, Brian here from Fitzpatrick's. In this video I want to show you around this really nice Honda CRV Hybrid. This video is going to be useful for somebody that is looking to buy this exact car, or if you're just trying to research these cars on the internet, then the video will run through how the car drives and just some of the features on the inside and the outside. The video should come in under 10 minutes long, and while it's not a completely in-depth tour, by the end of the video you should have a good idea of what these cars are all about.
By the way, I apologise, the sound quality is really bad on the videos at the moment. I do have a new phone on the way, but it just seems to be taking a long time, so I apologise just for the sound quality at the moment. It will get slightly better throughout the video. Just at the start where there's a bit of wind, it's not great, but it does improve as we get into the video a bit further.
If there's any information you want on this car, please do not hesitate to call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. Brian is my name, and it's Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. CRV is actually one of the best selling SUVs on the planet over the years. In Ireland, I suppose we had initially petrols, and then diesels came in, and now we're going into petrol hybrid. So I think we'll start off by going for a drive in the car, because this petrol hybrid version is going to be new to some of you if you're considering buying this car.
Sound quality should improve from here on pretty much. Anyway, in terms of the car, it feels high off the ground, as most of them do, and there's a nice display in here which shows you if the battery is running the car or the engine or both. Some people are still unsure of how these cars work, so essentially the easiest way I can tell you is when you're driving a car like this, you can select different modes. So on the column over here, I can press these buttons down here and it changes modes like sport and full electric, but the car normally does the whole thing itself. But what it's going to do is it's going to use the petrol engine and the battery to give max power. Sometimes it'll allow you to cruise at full electric, but usually, for half a kilometre. Most of the time the battery is also helping that petrol engine. So overall it's easier on fuel than a normal petrol engine. And remember, there is nothing different about this car. You treat it like a normal car, you put petrol in it, you don't charge it, it doesn't have a plug. The engine is a 2 litre, 184 horsepower unit.
To be fair, they're a nice driving car. Anyway, while we're outside, I want to show you some of the stuff I like on the outside of the car. So, small details. See the way there's a daytime running light? But you see the way it actually separates and goes down into the grille. Loads of small details on this car. The nose is kind of more of a bull nose. Previous model, not the previous model, the 2007-ish model, that was a lovely looking car. And that kind of mimics that along through there. So nice chrome along there, and then down through here, brushed aluminium along the bottom. There's little bits of chrome that surround the fog lights, and that complements what you see up there. But what's also cool, the headlights, so indicators, full and dip headlights, cornering lights, and then the fog lights, they're all LED. And the tail lights on the rear of the car, there's two sweeping lines that come up and around, and even things like the indicator, they're all LED as well. So they're really cool, kind of upmarket and classy looking. While we're talking about some of the features in the front of the car, if you move around to the side, there is more chrome that matches what we saw on the front of the car. There's more chrome around here. And then this one actually has an upgrade set of side steps. They're more of a brushed aluminium that matches the brushed aluminium that we saw on the front of the car, and also matches brushed aluminium that's down along the bottom of the rear of the car. So like bottom sections all in a similar kind of finish. Chrome a little bit higher, chrome, more chrome along here, chrome along here. Again, they're not really things that people talk about, but when you glance at the car and you're kind of wondering why does it look nice, these are the kind of things that make a car look well. Look well even. I'm going to try these headphones because hopefully the sound quality will improve using them. Anyway, the key on the car, so first of all, if I unlock the car, it'll allow me to lock the car, unlock the car. It'll also allow me to control the lights. It'll also allow me to control things like the windows, or it'll also allow me to close those windows and also retract the wing mirrors as well. Crucially for most people, they won't even bother using the key because there's a keyless entry function. So when I put my hand in here, you can hear it clicks open, or similarly then if I want to lock it, I just touch that pad along there to lock the car. So hand in along here allows me to open it, or similarly again, lock to lock the car, and hold it a second time, it also retracts those wing mirrors as well. So that's without taking the key out of your pocket. And then when you go down to the boot of the car, just put your hand here and it'll recognise the keys in your pocket and allows you to access it. While we're back here, big boot. The previous owner had a boot protector, so that's great because it really protects the section underneath. There is no space for a spare wheel in these cars, so toolkit's there, but the battery underneath takes up all the rest of the space down along there. But the boot's quite big. There is a speaker back through here, and I love a bit of symmetry in the car where you have a light and a light on the other side rather than just one, because when you pile stuff into a car, sometimes one light can get blocked. Really easy to drop the seats in this car as well. 2 levers, and then you end up with a massive load area, and if you want you can just plug out that tannoy cover as well. Into the inside of the car, there is wood trim, there is brushed aluminium, there is a tweeter, there is also a speaker here, piano black along there, piano black along there, so a lot of mixed and different materials. Big headrests along there, lovely, tidy and actually lovely contours on that black leather interior.
And something people don't notice straight away, when you walk up to one of these cars, look how wide and right angular the door is. It provides really good access for children or adults getting into the car. If I sat behind myself, I have acres of space in terms of my headroom and in terms of my legroom. I also like the fact there's LED lighting in the roof, and I also love the fact that there's 2 USB connectors back here and some ventilation. It's also got a really big drinks holder in the middle of that large armrest in the rear. Up front, similar materials up through here, again tweeters and speakers, so there's a nice stereo system in the car. The seats are very nice, big executive. It reminds me of some of the older Accords where the front seats were quite strong when it comes to peripheral support all the way around, but I love the contours that are in the leather. It just makes it look nice and upmarket and expensive. The driver's seat is obviously height adjustable, and then over here there's lumbar support for lower back, and what's nice about the elegance is the passenger gets the same treatment. Again, lumbar support and also height adjuster there, because you'd be surprised there's an awful lot of SUVs that don't do anything for the passenger. In terms of operating the car then, it's push button start, usual electrics for windows and mirrors over here, parking sensors front and rear. This defrosts the wipers during the winter so they won't stick to the windscreen. Lane departure warning, lane keep assist. And I've loads of videos on this kind of stuff, so if you want me to send it on I can, but lane departure is going to warn you if you drift out of your lane, whereas lane keep's going to actively try and keep you dead centre. It's also got adaptive cruise control, so I'm using these functions over here, and what that'll do is you can decide how far you want to stay behind the car in front when you're using the cruise control, but what's also pretty cool on these low speed follow. So like say for example you drove from here into a city or whatever and there's no major turns, it would lock onto the car in front and follow them. When they came to a halt, you would halt behind it, and that's without using your brake pedal. Over here, Bluetooth and then trip information for average speed and fuel efficiency and all that kind of stuff. And if you want to know, you don't have to, but if you want to know what's going on, this one here will tell you if the battery or the engine or both are driving the car. We saw when we were driving the car, we have a sport and economy or a full electric mode, but usually the car will decide what it wants to do itself. Drive, reverse, neutral and park, and then those parking sensors are on the front and the rear. There's also this function here, which we saw as the car went past. If something's outside your visual field from the left or the right, it'll also warn you of things that are outside the camera. As an elegance, the seats are heated in a 3-stage setup, and then there's a dual zone climate control. So that means there's different temperatures on each side of the car. And then after that, there is things like, we'll say, navigation. But the crucial thing, I think, on a lot of cars these days, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is available from the smartphone connection in here. If you're not familiar with those, that means you can use things like Google Maps, Audible, Spotify from the screen there. Very cool. There's electrochromatic mirror, which means it darkens itself when someone drives up behind you, but also there's a conversation mirror, which is cool because that means you can look out the back window, but that means you can look at the rear passenger, and most people put their child seat in on the rear left. Okay, over here there is storage and more 12 volt and USB outlets, and also HDMI if you want to play video up on the screen here when you're parked. Drinks holder, another 12 volt and more storage. So there you have it. That is a really nice 2019 Honda CRV, and that's what's called an elegance model. We are Fitzpatrick's Garage, a Honda garage and a family run business in operation for almost 70 years. If there's information you want on this car, do not hesitate to contact me. 086 843 1945. Brian is my name, and I'd be happy to run through information on the car, information on trading in your car or scrapping an older car, or just information on finance or anything you want to know about the car in particular. Anyway, hopefully the video's been useful. Thanks a million for watching.